Hi everybody, it's James here and welcome back to another Pro Tools Expert review. This time, no microphones, but another hardware input device. This time I've got my grubby little mitts on the Radial Firefly. This is a tube direct box or tube DI box, and it's fantastic. First thing you notice is this thing is built like an armoured car. So yes, it's definitely one of those things that's built for the road and built for the live environment. But it's got valves in it and it's got lots of control over it, so it's definitely also got the studio in mind. On the front panel we get trim A and trim B, indicating this is a 2-channel DI box. So if you have 2 different acoustic instruments plugged in, you can switch between them really easily, having 2 different levels set up. There's also the low cut control, which is basically a filter, and the output level. On the back we have the input for the power supply, output via balanced XLR, phase reverse, ground lift and through, be it pre or post insert points. We then have 6 1/4-inch jacks, 2 inputs, A and B, an insert jack, which is a TRS tip ring sleeve send and return, our through jack, should we want to send off to another amplifier, which is kind of convention with a DI box. We then have a separate tuner output, and we have the output for the remote control, which is this other little yellow stomp box, 2 pedals on it, 1 to mute, and 1 to switch between channels A and B. So let's look at connecting this thing up. Now, bear in mind, it's a valve DI, so it's worth putting the power in a good 15-20 minutes before you want to use it, and let the little 12AX7 valve warm up nicely. I'm then going to plug in my output, which in this case is going off to my Avid Pre. Bear in mind, it's a DI box, not a preamp, so it's going to colour the sound, but not necessarily give you that much control. But in this case, all I'm going to do is go from my instruments, a bass guitar and acoustic guitar, straight in, and then straight into my Avid Mic Pre. Next, I'm going to connect jack to my bass guitar. Because I can, I'm going to connect a TRS jack and connect that to the pedal. Then I'm going to plug into the tuner jack and connect that to my Avid 11 rack, which I'm going to use as my tuner. So first thing I want to do is set the level. I'm going to bring up the gain on the pre. So now all I'm going to do is record a few bars of bass along with a click, so it gives me something to build my track from. Okay, so I'm going to swap over to acoustic guitar now. I'm going to use my Patrick Eagle Blonde Saluda for this. Now this has a passive pickup in it. It doesn't have any controls built into the guitar. So this should be a real test of any tone or character that the Firefly DI is adding. So let's just put some rhythm guitar along with our bass guitar line. Okay, so we've got a great sounding bass and acoustic rhythm part. So now I want to add another track, another mono track. Just move that up here. I'll name it acoustic lead. Set the input correctly to line A1. And here we go, let's put some lead down. The thing I find with DI'd instruments is they sound very flat until you put them into some kind of acoustic space. So I'm going to use Sarverb by Softube just to do that. Instantiate the plugin, set up the inputs for the auxiliary, and then set up the outputs from the individual channels. I probably won't put any reverb on the bass, but it's nice to have the option. So let's pick a preset from the Softube Sarverb. Guitar Hall would seem remarkably appropriate. So let's solo safe the reverb channel. So that is the Firefly Direct Tube Box by Radial. As I say, I really like this thing. It's definitely on my Christmas list. Note to the wife there. Really easy to use. It's bomb-proof. I mean, it's built like a tank. Very, very flexible for both studio and live work. What I'm going to do now is just play the track through from start to finish and solo each of the instruments in turn, maybe tweak the reverb and the levels a bit so you can hear the track in context. Hope you enjoyed that review. I've got a whole load of boxes that have arrived today of some great stuff we'll be looking at over the coming weeks, and I hope very much to see you again soon.